Is it safe to say Liverpool are in crisis? I think it might be. If the game last weekend against United didn't show all their problems, this one did. Brentford 3, Liverpool 2, a fourth consecutive defeat in the Premier League for Liverpool. The first champions to do that since, City last year. Can you believe it? 2 years in a row where the reigning champions lost 4 in a row. That is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, what a game of football. Yet another successful Liverpool hate watch. I mean, this is unreal. I thought they'd finally turned a corner after they beat Frankfurt in the Champions League. Arne Slot going for the 4-4-2, benching Salah. I thought they'd finally figured it out. But no. They come to the Gtech and they put up that utter shite. That was a dreadful performance. I'm trying to figure out what was worse, that or the United game. Because I think it's close. The Palace game was pretty bad as well. But at least that one, that was the first one. They had all these wins. This game, they had all the pressure in the world. They just lost their biggest rivals who are shit. Well, they're actually not because they're above Liverpool in the table right now. But they just lost their biggest rivals at home to make it 4 defeats on the bounce in all competitions, 3 in the Premier League. They finally beat Frankfurt, and then they do this. Now, I wasn't very surprised with the lineup at all, because I didn't think Slot would go for the same system, because there was no Isak and there was no Frimpong. He played Wirtz on the right-hand side against Frankfurt, which means that he had to have a fullback with pace that can get up and allow Wirtz to go in. But with no Frimpong, he couldn't do that. And then with no Isak, he doesn't have 2 strikers. The only other way I could have seen that happening was if he went like Szoboszlai at right back. But then there was no Gravenberch to play in midfield alongside Jones, Wirtz, and I guess McAllister. See, they didn't really have the personnel to do that. But I mean, fuck. That was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. That before, what a hate watch, genuinely. Where do we even begin? Once again, Liverpool have all the pressure in the world and they concede early. I mean, that this is the most concerning thing, that they're conceding these early goals. And that's because of how poor they are defensively. I mean, that Atara goal was obviously from a long throw, which is hilarious that they've conceded another set piece, considering all the bullshit that Arne Slot's been crying about. Have some shame. But defensively, Liverpool were absolutely horrific once again. You know, yeah, he scored, but Kirkez was shocking. He was abysmal. Connor Bradley was okay. I thought he was definitely the least shit out of the back four. And then Kanate and Virgil were shit again. They were shit again. Virgil had yet another poor game. Obviously committed the foul that led to the Brentford penalty, which I'll talk about. And then Kanate was awful. Mamardashvili had to make some big saves for them. But even with those saves, he didn't look comfortable on the ball at all. I didn't think there was much he could have done for the goal, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him just because he didn't look comfortable on the ball. He didn't make any outright errors. But yeah, that first goal, shitty defending. But this guy, Kevin Schade, was my man of the match. He absolutely torched that Liverpool backline. Like he smoked him. It was insane. Every time that guy would go forward, they couldn't deal with him. He had that pace in behind. He was cooking Connor Bradley. And I thought Connor Bradley had it played, or didn't play terribly. But Kevin Schade demolished him. Absolutely cooked him. Scored the goal, which, I mean, it wasn't the greatest finish. The keeper probably should have... That was the one the keeper should have saved. The other two, I mean, that's fine. Like, the Otara one, it doesn't matter. Then the Thiago one was a penalty. But that one he should have saved. That one he really should have saved. He had a bit of a mare with that one. But Even outside of that, I mean, Shadow was creating chances. There was one where he played Igor Thiago through, and he missed a one-on-one. Like, even Brentford had so many chances. That's the most concerning thing, because it's one thing to dominate the game, concede 3 shitty goals and lose to Brentford, especially with a penalty that I thought was very soft. Very, very soft penalty. But the thing is, Liverpool can't really complain because it was deserved. It was deserved. They deserved to be at least 2 goals down at that period in the game. You know, Kirkes gets a scrappy goal right before half-time, and that was a huge let-off, and I was starting to worry. I was starting to worry that Liverpool were going to mount some sort of comeback because we've seen them get lucky already this season. But thankfully that didn't happen. They fully deserved what they got because, I mean, they could not deal with Brentford. Look at this. 2.75 XG. I'm not the biggest XG guy, but that's crazy. 8 shots on target and 7 big chances. 7 big chances. Brentford. I mean, that is a joke. That is an absolute joke. Brentford should have absolutely smashed these. The Liverpool fans that were crying that, you know, they didn't deserve to lose to United and all that bullshit, they fully deserve to lose that game. I think they deserve to lose to United, but, you know, even in that game, like, they created chances. Liverpool didn't really create much. They didn't create much. You know, there were a couple of opportunities here and there. I mean, it doesn't really count if it falls to Salah. Salah was awful. Or I'll get to the individuals, but, like, I already talked about the defense, but I'll get to the other individuals in a sec. But yeah, shameful. Absolutely shameful. Liverpool had so much control on the ball, still couldn't really do much with it. And then every time Brentford went forward, it looked like they were going to score. Every single time. Salah's finish, I mean, it was a consolation goal in the end. Although, the amount of added time was an absolute crime. It was a crime, bro. They added 7 minutes for that penalty check, which, I mean, it's fine. And then they added another 5 minutes on top of that because of one injury. Like, I mean, when Liverpool need a goal, it's a tale as old as time. I guess we can get to the rest of the individuals for Liverpool. Dominic Szoboszlai was their only respectable player in that game. He was excellent. Dominic Szoboszlai, for me, has been their player of the season. He was excellent in that game. Work rate was crazy. Good assists. Like, he was unplayable. He gets absolutely no slander. Curtis Jones was pretty average. Salah was woeful. Like, he scored that goal, but outside of that goal, he was shocking. Woeful. Florian Wirtz, I mean, once again, offered nothing. He didn't even show, like, flashes like he did against Chelsea, like he did against Palace. He didn't even show, like, that he was a good player in this game. He was terrible. Gakpo, I thought, was the best of the bad bunch in terms of the forwards. He kind of tried to create a little bit, but, I mean, he couldn't really do much. And Gakpo's a pretty technically limited player outside of his shooting, so I wasn't really expecting much from him. And then Ekitike, he got no service, but he wasn't really able to get involved. His link-up play wasn't what we've seen. I'd probably say that might be his worst game that I've seen him play for Liverpool. Which, I mean, look, doesn't have much competition because he's been one of the bright lights for them. And then the subs, I mean, none of the subs really impacted the game at all. This sub confused me though, taking Wirtz off for a centre back. Crazy stuff right there. And yeah, I mean, I've said it. Questions have to be asked for Arne Slot. You know, I understand this guy won the Premier League, but it was in a season where everyone was kind of having a year off, and he's brought in all these new players. You have to prove that you can do it again. When you spend that kind of money on the caliber of players you brought in, I know there was no Frimpong or Isak today, but I mean, you have to do better. Liverpool have no identity at all. No identity. It's not like last season where they were very controlled, they were very solid defensively. It's the opposite. They are so easy to score against. You don't know who's supposed to do what. They're shocking. Like, they're actually shocking. Like, I haven't been going too hard on them lately because I do think the quality that they've got, I can see them getting back to their best. But how's he going to do it? You know, we saw flashes against Frankfurt, and maybe Maybe if when Isak and Frimpong get back in, he plays that 4-4-2 in the Premier League, maybe they start to win games. Maybe. But if they keep playing like this, it's absolutely shocking. And I saw some stat that Salah had like the most consecutive starts out of any forward in Premier League history, or something along those lines. But I mean, it has to stop. It has to stop, because I know he scored a very good goal, but his overall performance was terrible. Terrible once again. Salah's been woeful this season. He's been absolutely horrid. And I'm a massive fan of Mo Salah. I think he's very disrespected. He's criminally disrespected by certain people. But he was terrible. And he's been terrible all season. You know, that was his first non-penalty goal since the opening game against Bournemouth. And even in that game, he was shit. Like, Salah's genuinely offered nothing to Liverpool this season. Like, he hasn't offered anything. Been really, really poor. Now, we'll get to the positives. We'll look at Brentford. And Brentford were sensational. Brentford, in terms of hate watchers, already this season, we haven't even gotten to November yet. And they've given me 3 genuinely incredible hate watches. There was the draw against Chelsea, which was hilarious because Chelsea dropped points to another team they should have beaten, and then now they've just lost to home to Sunderland. Especially the way it happened as well. Garnacho switching off on his debut. It was funny. Then there was the United game. They smashed them. Like, they absolutely cooked them. And then this is the cherry on top. And Brentford are a team that I had very, very low expectations for this season. You know, when you lose your two best players, your two top goal scorers in Mbeumo and Wissa, on top of that you lose probably the best manager that your club's ever had in Thomas Frank, and your captain. I thought they were fucked. I did not rate that appointment of Keith Andrews as their set-piece coach, but Brentford are just such a well-run club. Like, they make questionable decisions, but they always work out. And Keith Andrews has done a phenomenal job at Brentford. You know, this is his first managerial gig, and he's succeeding. He's succeeding so well. As I said, Kevin Schade was phenomenal. Jordan Henderson had a good game. Damsgaard was another contender for man of the match. Kelleher made some big saves. They looked solid at the back. Didn't really concede many chances at all. This Brentford team, I mean, they're still, despite the fact that they've lost to Mbeumo and Wissa, they're still such a big threat on the counter. And they showed that against Liverpool with Kevin Schade, who, as I said, was my man of the match. None of the subs really did much. They didn't have to. They just sort of sealed the win. That game was, in my opinion, pretty much won in the first half, but they were still very, very good in the second half. The only thing that I could really say against the deservingness of the performance was the penalty shout. And on another day, maybe Liverpool do scrape a result from this game. But the thing is, I say it about Arsenal as well, I don't really care about refereeing decisions if you don't deserve it. Like, I say it with Arsenal all the time. Maybe I don't agree with a certain refereeing decision, but if we play like shit, I do not care. I do not care, and I really don't give a shit about Liverpool. I don't feel sorry for them whatsoever because they did not deserve anything from this game. This scoreline flattens them, or flatters them, because Brentford had 7 big chances and missed 4 of them. Like, you got absolutely cooked. You got cooked. And if you take a look at the Premier League table, they are now 4 points behind Arsenal with a game to spare. Arsenal still are yet to play alongside with Man City. So if we beat Crystal Palace tonight, then that means we go 7 points clear of Liverpool. Liverpool were, just to let you guys know, 4 game weeks ago, Liverpool were 5 points good at the top of the league. They weren't playing well, but they were 5 points good at the top of the league. Now they've lost 4 on the trot. Could go 7 behind Arsenal. Already 2 behind Sunderland, below Manchester United, and if Man City win, they'll go 4 points behind Man City. So they could be 4 points behind Man City, 7 points behind Arsenal. And it gets even more worrying when you look at the fixtures that Liverpool have coming up. Aston Villa at home is a difficult game. Then they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League, which is pretty irrelevant, and the Man City away. I could see them realistically losing both of these games, and if Arsenal capitalise on the 3 games that they have yet to play, Liverpool's season could be over before Christmas. And considering and I'm talking Premier League, by the way, and considering the money that they've spent on this squad, the players that they've brought in, the personnel that they have, shocking. Absolutely shocking. Arne Slot's got some serious questions to answer because this Liverpool team has been a complete and utter failure so far this season. And you also got to remember that they're lucky to be in the position that they're in because Burnley, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Newcastle are all games where I didn't think Liverpool were that scintillating. You know, Arsenal, Bournemouth, I'd say they deserve to win. Liverpool and Newcastle and Burnley were the main two. They were shit for the majority of those two games. So say that they draw both of them, that's 4 points worse off than they are. They could be, in an alternate universe, they could be 8 points behind Arsenal with Arsenal having a game left to play. Ridiculous. Absolutely horrendous. Liverpool have to fix up. And I mean, if we look at the games that are tonight, I mean, Arsenal and City, I mean, these are both very winnable games. City, I could see slipping up. I could see both of them slipping up. I genuinely could. I could see both of them slipping up. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because, you know, Liverpool are absolute wank at the moment. And based off of I'm not going to be too reactionary, but based off what we've seen, we could be seeing another Arsenal City title race, which, I mean, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to go check out the Time Zone Derby podcast. We'll be releasing a video, I think it'll be Tuesday. So expect that on Tuesday. And yeah, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. It'll really help me out. I'm trying to take YouTube seriously now. Try and grow my audience. Go follow me on TikTok as well, Ecas4. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully, it's talking about Arsenal's win against Palace. Peace.